If you're thinking of moving to Fort Worth, Texas, you know the market is already red hot. We're seeing a mixture of price reductions, some bidding wars, and a ton of activity, but that doesn't mean every house out there for sale is a good investment. I've helped hundreds of families plant roots here in Fort Worth, Texas, and I keep seeing buyers who don't work with us fall into the same expensive traps. They get blinded by granite countertops, low price tag. They end up losing tens of thousands of dollars. Today, I'm revealing the 6 types of homes you should absolutely never buy. Even if the deal looks too good to be true, it usually is, but wait until you hear about the number one problem that plagues almost every house in older Fort Worth neighborhoods. It's something most buyers miss until it's way too late. So let's jump into it. First up, and this is crucial, especially in Fort Worth, homes with foundation problems. Now, much of North Texas, including older Fort Worth neighborhoods, sits on our world-famous, expansive clay soil. This soil shrinks when it's dry, it swells when it's wet, and with our crazy up and down Texas weather, that constant push and pull can exert thousands of pounds of pressure on your slab foundation. And let's be honest, a fresh coat of paint will hide anything. Here's a couple of tricks to spot a problem. 1, look for stair-step cracks in the exterior brick, cracks around the corners of doors and windows on the inside. The second thing is bring a tennis ball. This is a Sean Bone hack. The tennis ball, put it in the middle of a room and see if it immediately starts rolling to one side. That's uneven flooring and a potential sign of foundation movement. So foundation repairs here in Texas are not cheap. They're easily looking at tens of thousands of dollars, and your home warranty often doesn't cover it. Most of the time it's not going to, but here's a tip that could save you thousands. Water your foundation during the summer. Keep the soil consistently moist so it doesn't shrink away from the slab. Do it in the winter as well. Get a drip system or just run a soaker hose, and don't let the clay dry out. That's the biggest mistake that we see. Number 2, foreclosed or condemned homes. And I know the low price tag is seductive and those TV flippers make it easy, but in Texas, foreclosures are almost always sold as is, with no seller disclosures. That means you don't get to know anything what's been going on with the house. You're buying a complete mystery box. These properties sit empty for months, often with no one checking on them. That means the pipes could freeze and burst, the roof could leak unnoticed, and you're at risk of vandalism, squatters. If you're a first-time buyer, this is not a project home for you. The hidden damage, plumbing issues, electrical could easily turn a low-price deal into an expensive multi-year nightmare. Plus, closing with the banks is slow. I've seen foreclosures take 90 days or more in some cases. And if the property was a rental in Texas, the law can give previous renters up to 90 days to move out. 90 days before you can even start working on the house. If you need to move quickly, this isn't the route to take. Instead, look for what we would call stale listings. These need updates, but they're livable, way less risky, and it's just the foreclosure thing is not what it seems to be. There's a lot of hidden traps. So, all right. So next up, mobile homes. I'm not saying never buy one, but here in North Texas, we have to talk about safety. We are right on the edge of Tornado Alley. Fort Worth has seen significant tornado events, and the data is clear. People are 15 to 20 times more likely to be injured or killed in a mobile or manufactured home during a tornado event compared to a standard house. Even well-anchored homes simply don't hold up. A wind event that might just damage a regular home could completely destroy a mobile home. On top of the safety risk, homeowners insurance for manufactured homes typically more expensive and offers less comprehensive coverage. Also, many of the desirable neighborhoods and municipalities around Fort Worth have strict rules or outright bans on where you can place a mobile home for better protection and value growth. You have better options in Tarrant County. All right, so number 4 covers homes in high-risk locations, which means everything from noise to weather danger zones. You're dealing with constant noise if you buy too close to highways like I-35, I-30, railroad tracks that cut right through town. And you can forget about quiet if you're if you're too close to DFW or the Alliance or Love Field. Any of these airports, we see buyers make the mistake all the time where they tour a house during a quiet time like a Sunday afternoon and don't realize that planes fly over every 5 minutes, during the workday. You have to visit the house at different times of the day to truly understand the noise environment. Next is weather. Hailstorms in Fort Worth, we get hammered every year. Having a garage here is not really optional. It's essential for protecting your car, and something most buyers miss until it's too late. Insurance deductibles for hail damage in Texas, typically 1 to 2% of the value of your home. So on a $400,000 home, that's $4,000 to $8,000. That bill comes in before they even start fixing the roof. Finally, check the flood zones. We're not on the coast, but flash flooding from the Trinity River tributaries can happen. Check the FEMA map before you buy. Flood insurance is an extra non-negotiable cost if you're in a high-risk zone. All right, so the 5th type of home to think twice about is shared wall properties. I'm talking about half duplexes, condos, and townhomes. My biggest concern in the risk of shared responsibility, especially with half duplexes that don't have an HOA. Imagine a hailstorm rips up your shared roof. Your neighbor either can't afford to fix their half or they just refuse. Their neglect causes water damage to leak in your shared wall. You can't make them fix it. You're stuck. Now, condos and townhomes usually have HOAs, which brings the other major headache, special assessments. If the HOA hasn't budgeted correctly for major repair, like replacing all the roofs in the complex after a big storm, they can hit you with a surprise bill of $10,000 or more with almost zero warning. You have no choice but to pay. So here's the pro tip. Before buying any shared wall property, demand to see the HOA's reserve fund. If their savings are weak, you will get hit with a special assessment eventually. And finally, the one that sneaks up on everyone, the overpriced flip. They look perfect, beautiful new floors, fancy fixtures, a fresh coat of paint, but they're a trap. Private investors are buying at homes in Fort Worth, doing minimal cosmetic updates, and then listing them way above market value. Don't let new paint and pretty countertops cloud your judgment. A fantastic looking kitchen doesn't justify paying 15% more if the AC system is 20 years old, the plumbing is original, and the foundation hasn't been touched or inspected. Always focus your inspection on the expensive, the big ticket items. The investors often skip these. Major mechanical, right? We're talking about the HVAC, the roof, electrical, plumbing, water heater. And here's the key question for every flip. Can I see the permits for all the renovation work? Work done without permits can and will cause problems when you try to sell it or if you ever have to file an insurance claim. So to recap, the 6 properties that I'm recommending to think twice about in Fort Worth are homes with foundation issues, foreclosed properties, mobile homes, homes in high-risk locations, shared wall properties, and overpriced flips. The good news is just by knowing this, you're already ahead of 90% of buyers in the Fort Worth market. My team and I specialize in helping people make a wise investment here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you're serious about buying a home without falling into the expensive pitfall, we'd love to help. All our contact information is in the description below. Now, if you want to know which Fort Worth suburb was ranked the #1 most livable small city in the entire United States, watch this next video. That's it for now. I'll see you next time.